Hello everyone, and welcome to the beautiful gardens in the front of Chateau Clerbaud, and welcome to our next video blog. I really think this is a great one. The footage has been shot over the last 4 or 5 years, a really major project. When we bought the chateau back in 2019, the grounds were in a really bad state. Everywhere was totally overgrown, and the worst areas were all around the outside of the land where the boundary wall goes. The video blog you're going to watch now is all about how we've cleared part of this boundary wall. This wall most likely goes back many hundreds of years, and over the last 40-50 years it has certainly been very neglected and became massively overgrown. You're going to see just what it took to clear it all and restore it. We used huge diggers, tree cutters, small diggers, lots of labour, lots of elbow grease, and I think the result is truly outstanding. I really hope you enjoy watching this, and please leave us some comments afterwards. If you haven't already subscribed to our page, please do so. It really helps us. It doesn't cost anything, and you'll get a notification when we upload our video blogs. Also, if you wish to become a patron, that will also be really useful to us in our efforts to renovate this beautiful place. Check out the links on the video blog. So thank you again for watching, and see you next time. Today Pascal is here with his big digger. One of the big jobs this summer we've got to do is to clear out the drainage ditch that runs all the way through the forest. It's about 300 meters long. It's not been maintained for a long time. It's totally overgrown. There's trees and bushes and everything in it. Last summer we had a problem last winter we had a big problem with the rain in January, as it flooded all of the field in the park here. So what we're thinking is we clean out the drainage ditch, which wasn't coping with the water. That then comes into the lake, which is behind me here. From the lake it goes into another ditch, which is all okay and functioning, and it drains off the other side of the chateau land. So yeah, big project this. Let's go and take a closer look. Now you can see the extent of the problem that we were facing. So much overgrowth. Nothing has been done to this area for many years. We had been at the chateau for nearly 1 year before we realised that there was a ditch hidden in all of this undergrowth. Initially, in our naivety, we had tried to clear some of these overgrown areas by hand. This was absolutely pointless. The only way to do this is with large, heavy-duty mechanical equipment. Now we can see the ditch starting to appear, as if by magic, from the overgrown areas. We can also see how the ditch has become full with debris and old leaves and earth over the years.
almost becoming level with the surrounding ground.
So it's middle of the afternoon. Pascal has been out here most of the day. Let's take a look and see just what area he has cleared.
What a huge difference in just one morning. We have made great inroads, but still the boundary wall remains almost totally hidden, just glimpses of it appearing. We are also accumulating very large piles of debris which will have to be disposed of, most likely by burning.
All the way along this ditch at the edge of the field there's lots of really nice very old oak trees, and now we're beginning to clear all of this shit away. We can see them, they've been strangled by all this overgrowth, but now I can start cutting the ivy off. The ivy will then die and the trees will have space and air again, so it can only get better down here. It'll be so nice one day once we get this whole area cleared.
It was really amazing to see these beautiful trees appearing as if out of nowhere.
For 2 days now, Pascal has been clearing around the lake and the ditch down to the forest. He's achieved an amazing amount in that time. The back of the lake, which was totally overgrown, that's now all been cleared and opened up, so we can see the old wall of the chateau, which has a few places where the trees have really grown through it. You can see the damage that these trees do. But generally, this part of the wall isn't in such bad condition. You can see where we are standing now. This is where the ditch comes through the forest and comes into the lake. It's a drainage ditch and it brings water from the fields on the other side of the road. That's the main road to Chauvigny. Comes through our forest along here and then it drains into the lake. It then goes out the other side of the lake through another ditch across our fields and out onto the main commune drain. You can see the damage that the trees and the ivy cause. Here you really get a great perspective on just how much brush and shrub has been cleaned away from this area. Now I'm standing in the middle of the park, and at the bottom of the park you can see the woods, and it's through these woods that the ditch goes through. And now if I pan around, you'll see that the whole overgrown area where Pascal's been working has all been cleared. I mean, it's amazing. We can see right the way through these trees now. I guess we've gained at least 20 meters depth of land all the way down to the forest. So 3 days work, amazing. Shows you what one great big digger can do. It's been many a year since anyone has seen this part of the wall. You can now see the remains of the boundary wall, which isn't in too bad condition, and the ditch where it runs up towards the lake. Next job here is digging out the ditch, making it nice and rounded and clearing all of the old bits of tree trunk and bush shrubs and all this sort of stuff that's just lying around.
I think that I don't really need to say anything about this. You can see for yourself the transformation that has taken place over the last few days. It really is incredible.
So now we get to burn all of the stuff we've cut down along the ditch. It's nearly November the 5th, not quite, but it's supposed to rain from tomorrow, so we're burning it today.
The heat that these fires generated was incredible. Really hot. Now it was time to turn our attention to the other side of the boundary wall. It had also been in a very overgrown state, but we had had Pascal clear this too. It was now becoming very apparent that the boundary wall would need a lot of attention, a lot of rebuilding and repairs. There were also many trees growing against or very close to this wall, which had caused it to break and fall. If we are going to rebuild the wall, we also need to protect it, which means we will have to thin out the trees along here. Because of the close proximity of these trees to the land of our farmer neighbour, we needed somebody who could climb the trees and cut the tops off first. Fortunately, we were recommended somebody local who could do just this. It is quite a skill, with many different disciplines being involved, not least of which is to climb up the tree safely and secure yourself in a spot where you're not going to fall or get hit by the falling tree. All in all, as you will see, quite a tricky operation, but one that was fascinating for me to watch. At the same time as we were felling some of the trees, we also started work on repairing the boundary wall, the start of a very long job.
At times like this you need a digger, isn't it?
Sorry?
It's at times like this you need a digger.
Or a fan belt.
Or a fan boat for a digger.
Whilst it is never nice to be cutting down trees, there are some positives. Firstly, we are protecting this wall, which is very old. Secondly, many of these oak trees have self-seeded and are growing way too close to each other, so we are thinning them out and giving the best trees space to thrive. Also, during our time so far at the chateau, we have planted nearly 100 new trees.
I felt that.
The trees that we cut down will be used to make timber for use in the chateau. All the small branches will be shredded or burnt. The branches will be used for firewood. Once all of the trees had been cut down, it was time to get on with the rebuilding of the wall. Firstly, there was a great deal of clearing up to be done, and then it was on to the wall. This was going to be a very, very long job. We had to clear the broken parts of the wall right down to their foundations, saving all of the good stone, and then start the repair and rebuilding process. This continued on and off for many, many months. Finally, the huge clear-up operation was all done, and we could get on with repairing the wall. We of course tried to save as much of the original wall as we possibly could. There were a few big oak trees growing very close to the wall that we did actually want to keep. So we created some bridges in the wall to allow the roots to continue growing without damaging the wall itself. These before and after photographs really show how good a job I think we've done. Finally, after many months, the wall that runs along the back of the lake alongside the park was finally repaired and ready to be levelled at the top. I think eventually we will put tiles along the length of the wall to protect it from the rain. All of the tree stumps that remained from the trees we had cut down needed grinding out. This was a job for a professional machine. Then it was time for the final clear up and trying to get the ground as level as possible prior to reseeding. It has been such a long project. Looking back to just where it was when we started and seeing how it is now is an incredible transformation. We have gone from a totally overgrown area to a beautiful avenue along a boundary wall. The other side of the boundary wall has also been transformed. It now looks amazing along the track that runs alongside the chateau lands. If you have enjoyed watching this video, why not click on the subscribe button that has just appeared? Also, check out our Patreon page in the link below. On there, you will find other ways in which you can help and support us in our project. It really does mean a great deal to us that you are interested in Chateau Clerbaud and preserving its wonderful history. Thank you.